So the Nike sponsor Durant is now taking a shot at Under Armour. He also overshadowed Curry on the court last season. Cowherd, has Durant damaged Curry's brand?
Well, Curry's brand is shrinking, I think. First of all,
that's damage.
Yeah, it's damage.
Shrinkage isn't good.
Good point. But I think this is the downside to adding, another star to a movie, adding, I mean, listen, you put LeBron on the Miami Heat and D. Wade wasn't quite as big. And I just think this is natural. The downside of the super teams, you got to give up some shots and you got to give up some of your brand. And that's the downside of the Warriors.
You have a problem with using the word damage?
No, damage seems so severe. Curry's still a global star. It's just he is not as big as he was 2 years ago.
They asked 39 NBA rookies to choose their favorite NBA player, and not one NBA rookie chose Steph Curry.
Wow. Where did you get
39 NBA rookies.
That's good.
Not one chose Steph Curry. They picked Jamal Crawford, Dwight Howard, Carmelo Anthony.
Okay, that's damage.
Yeah.
Wait a second. Let me ask a quick question about brands here, guys. Is jersey sales part of the brands? Is that part of your...
Yeah, sure.
Steph Curry was #1 in jersey sales last year. How about, let's see here, merchandise? What was Steph Curry last year? Any guesses? #1 in the NBA. How about endorsements? Curry was 2 to LeBron. I mean, if that stuff makes up your brand, he is still right there at the top of the NBA.
You're making a good point. He doesn't get I don't think he gets any money for those jerseys or merchandise. He's tied directly to the shoes, which have been a flop.
You said money. How about his contract? His new $200 million contract, highest paid player in the league? Face of Under Armour, Jim? Come on.
I mean, but that's like saying Matt Stafford, because he's the highest paid quarterback, player in the league right now. Here's my thing. With Steph, he was starting to diminish a little bit anyway before Durant, just because I think people love the adorable feature of him early on. Cuddly, this little guy is getting it done. Then all of a sudden, it started to turn the corner. You know how it is in the NBA, in professional sports. First they love you, then they go start nitpicking at something. Then you add a Kevin Durant, who's almost like a transformational kind of player. It did take a little bit of the shine away. And Kevin Durant is telling the truth about the shoe companies. Even when I went to Ohio State, I wanted to make sure we had Nikes. That we were playing in Adidas before then. I grew up in Nike. So I get what he's saying in regards to kids looking at it from a different perspective. But I do think Steph Curry was starting to get a little bit of backlash even before Kevin Durant came in there.
Is it possible the loser's Under Armour, not as much Steph?
There you go.
Now, Under Armour stock's down 40%.
They both got to lose. Steph's tied to Under Armour. He's a part of the narrative that Under Armour's going down.
Yeah, but if Nike has a bad year of earnings, Michael Jordan's still Michael Jordan. A player can separate to some degree.
But what's the difference with Under Armour? Under Armour doesn't have a lifestyle brand, okay? Adidas and Nike, if you're talking about lifestyle and the younger generation, it's all about that. When you throw on some Air Force Ones, you're going back old school. When you throw on some shell toes like I have on right now with Adidas, you're talking about a lifestyle brand. Under Armour hasn't crossed that threshold yet. They're still trying to figure out the athletic side, let alone
5 to 10 years, Jim.
What'd you say?
Under Armour, like 5 to 10. Nike's been around like 30.
No, but I'm saying when you're talking about losing market share and how you're going to dominate and play in this market, you have to start to transition over, just like Nike and Adidas did, in regards to we're just not a sports brand, we're a lifestyle brand, and that causes people to go out and really want to market and buy your products.
You know, it is interesting, though, that we're discussing this, right? And so if we're discussing it, I mean, Kevin Durant's like everybody's talking about it. I do wonder if it will have an impact going forward with joining star teams that you will say, now, I mean, people are watching the Under Armour stock go down. So all these other shoe companies are like, are they going to have the influence to say, Chris Paul, you're not going to go play with LeBron? Will this have a reverb effect?
I want to go a step further and wonder if Under Armour isn't going to try to exercise some influence over Steph Curry
and move him
at some point and say, look, man, we're paying you more than the Golden State Warriors. We're paying you more than anybody to sell these shoes. And it's hard to sell these shoes when Kevin Durant is so much better than you.
And is ripping you.
And seriously. And so I could see Under Armour asking this dude, maybe you sell more shoes out of Charlotte with Michael Jordan.
Didn't Curry just have the greatest finals of his career, 26, 9, and 8? I mean, he was tremendous in the finals. He's got 2 rings, 2 MVPs.
And you're the only one that bought shoes.
I am the president of the Steph Curry fan club.
That's not going to sell shoes because the shoes are not attractive. They're not cool.
It's just a slice of the whole brand.
But that's that's what we're talking about. But what Under Armour, what you have? Football and basketball.
And baseball, Bryce Harper.
Football and basketball, okay? Football and basketball. That's what's going to really sell. You gonna go out and sell some cleats that you can wear around in the street? No, you can't.
But
you can't do it.
The bigger story is Kevin Durant just ripped Under Armour.
Yeah.
Under Armour represents Steph Curry. You don't think they called Steph Curry? To your point, listen, we know that if you're Jim Harbaugh at Michigan or you're the new coach at Texas, there are boosters you answer to. Okay, you tick off the wrong booster, you can be out of a job at Ohio State or Alabama or Auburn. Bottom line is, Under Armour heard those comments. We're talking about those comments. This is a discussion now with Steph and Under Armour.
What do you think it leads to?
Well, I'm just saying.
New location for Steph.
Oh, come on. Yeah, let's get him to Charlotte. Yeah, let's
Eventually, he was a better attraction without Kevin Durant. Would you admit that? Was he a better attraction without?
No, now they're one of the most best dynasties in NBA history. That's much better than just winning 67 games.
Steph feels to me smaller today than 2 years ago.
Feels damaged, doesn't he?